Hey everyone, and welcome back to The Explainer. I am so incredibly thrilled you're tuning in today, especially all of you 10-year-old explorers out there. Okay, so I want you to think of your life as a giant, exciting, and sometimes totally unpredictable hiking adventure. Think about it. Every single day you wake up, you're stepping onto a brand new trail. You've got mountains to climb, rivers to cross, and some seriously amazing sights to see along the way. But here's the thing about grand adventures. If you actually want to make it to the most awesome destinations, you absolutely need a guide. So today, we're unpacking a famous devotional text called Let Jesus Lead, and we are going to look at the greatest rescue mission and the ultimate adventure guide ever known.
Now, I want you to imagine, just for a second, being stuck in a dark, tricky forest. The trees are huge, the shadows are getting way longer, the trails seem to just go off in 100 different directions, and you have absolutely no idea which way is home. It's a pretty scary feeling, right? Okay, let's dive into this, because the devotional text we're looking at today tells us that we literally never have to feel that way. It gives us the ultimate map. It tells us that we don't have to wander around in the dark hoping we just kind of stumble onto the right path, because someone has already mapped it out perfectly for us.
And that actually brings us to the anchor of our entire explainer today. This is a very famous quote from the Bible, John 14:6, where Jesus says, "I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh unto the Father but by me." Now really think about what those words actually mean. Jesus isn't just standing at the edge of the forest, pointing a finger and saying, "Hey, go that way and good luck." No, the text explains that he actually is the trail to God. If you want to get to the destination safely, you just stay with him.
All right, moving into Section 1, the ultimate adventure path.
So, to really get this, let's talk about the terrain we're hiking through. The source material calls us pilgrims and strangers, which basically means we're just passing through this world. And yet, it can be pretty confusing sometimes. But here is the incredible news the text shares. It says that the path Jesus marked out for us is so plain and distinct that nobody needs to miss their way. Imagine a hiking trail that quite literally glows in the dark with a pure, holy light. Even if you're carrying a massive heavy backpack filled with guilt because of mistakes you've made, the trail is still bright enough for you to see. Not one single person searching for it has to fail to find it.
So the crucial point is that there aren't 100 confusing paths we have to guess between. There is exactly one. The text points out that Christ is the single connecting link between God and us. He's the bridge. And because Jesus leads the way, that one single path is completely guaranteed to take us exactly where we need to go safely.
Which brings us to Section 2, Lost in the Mud.
But let's be real, no hiking trip is completely without its challenges, right? Sometimes we get a bit distracted, we try to take a shortcut, and we wander off that glowing trail into the mud, which the source material calls sin. It's those moments we make bad choices that hurt others, hurt ourselves, and just get us all messy. And Satan actually wants us to think we're stuck in that muddy kingdom forever. When you walk alone, you get marred and corrupted by the mud, you start doubting, and you feel incredibly lost. But walking with Jesus means staying on that holy path, surrounded by light, and most importantly, having a rescue guide right beside you. You never, ever have to walk alone or stay in the mud.
When you're sitting there in the mud, feeling gross and defeated, it's really easy to let this awful thought pop into your head. The text quotes a feeling a lot of people have. God cares not for me. Now, cares not is just an old-fashioned way of saying, God doesn't care about me at all. But the devotional text tackles this head-on. It assures us that not one single doubting, trembling soul ever needs to say those sad words. Actually, scratch that. It's a complete lie from the enemy. God cares so much more than you can even imagine.
Let's look at Section 3, the Great Rescue Mission.
Now what's really interesting about this slide is that because God cared so incredibly much, when we were all corrupted and stuck in the mud, he didn't just sit back and watch. No way! He sent his only son on a massive, epic rescue mission, right into the dark forest. And to pull us out, he paid a ransom. Have you heard that word before? A ransom is a huge, gigantic price paid to rescue someone who has been captured and bring them back safely. The text tells us that Jesus came to the world and declared, "I have found a ransom." He paid the absolute ultimate price to save every single person who was perishing in the mud. He essentially bought us back.
And because he paid that ransom, he provides us with something else that's just amazing. The text calls them emancipation papers. Emancipation is a big word that just means being set completely, officially free. Imagine getting a special certificate sealed by the Lord of heaven and earth that says you have a free ticket out of the mud. The mud has absolutely no claim on you anymore. You are totally free to step back onto the glowing path.
The text outlines God's complete rescue package for us. First, a guaranteed way of escape from the mud. Second, ample mercy and grace, and ample basically means there's way more than enough for everyone. Third, love that is freely bestowed, meaning you don't have to earn it, it's just yours. And fourth, the blood of Jesus acts as our eloquent plea. The text makes it incredibly clear that there is absolutely no flaw, no mistake, and no trick in this ticket that has been purchased for you. It's flawless.
Moving right along to Section 4. You are super precious. So you might be wondering, why would God go through all this trouble? Why launch a massive rescue mission, pay a huge ransom, and hand out free emancipation papers? The answer is simple. You are super precious to Him. Yes, you, the 10-year-old watching this explainer right now. You are incredibly valuable to the Creator of the universe. The text has this beautiful promise that says, every soul is precious in His sight. God doesn't just love the parts of you that behave perfectly. He loves 100% of who you are, and He values every single soul completely. You matter to Him entirely.
And because you are so precious, God is never angry or impatient when you get a little muddy. In fact, the text tells us that God waits to bestow the blessing of forgiveness. Think of a loving parent just waiting on the porch with a warm towel when you come home caught in a rainstorm. God is eagerly waiting to give you the free gift of pardon for your mistakes, wiping the mud completely away and saying, "Come on, let's get back on the path together."
And this brilliantly illustrates our final part, Section 5, following the guide today.
So, how do we actually walk this glowing path at school or at home or hanging out with friends? Well, here's how you apply this awesome devotional every single day. Step 1, spot the mud. When you mess up, like say you get into a silly argument and hurt your siblings' feelings, just admit it. Tell God, hey, I stepped in the mud. Step 2, accept the free rescue. The text says we just need to believe in His love and accept His salvation. Ask Jesus for forgiveness, and remember those emancipation papers? You're free. Step 3, let Jesus lead your choices. Once you're wiped clean, choose to step out in kindness, honesty, and love.
Which brings us to the final and really the most exciting part of the adventure. You have the ultimate guide. You know the trail is completely lit up with holy light. You know that even if you trip into the mud, you have a rescue package waiting for you because you are 100% precious. So my question for you is this: where will you let Jesus lead you today? Step out of the mud, trust your guide, and keep exploring the wonderful path He's marked out just for you. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep hiking out there, and I'll catch you on the next adventure.